Welcome to the Fabulous Fifties and Beyond. I'm Jim Pollard, your host for today. We've got I think, our special show for you today. We're going to be talking with Carrie Singler, and she is the Director of Marketing and Admissions at the Legacy Personal Care Home. But not only are we going to talk a little bit about Legacy, but we're going to have a little exercise session in the second half of our show. And I think it's one that you can do, exercises you can do from your chair, and exercises that we all need to be looking at. So you stay tuned and we'll be right back.
And he'd say, go with what you got. Start from where you are. Give it your best shot. Keep reaching for that star. Get in the race. Keep your own pace. Keep moving and never stop. Just go. Go with what you got.
Welcome back. As I said, our guest today is Carrie Singler. We're going to be talking about Legacy, which is a local facility here, a personal care facility in Paducah. But another main thing we're going to be talking about is exercise for seniors. And I guess that's the right term, isn't it, Carrie?
Sure.
Welcome back. Carrie's been on our show before, and it's good to have you back on our show today. Let's talk a little bit about Legacy. Number one, it's where it is and what it does, and what is a licensed personal care facility?
Well, a personal care facility is licensed by the state, just like when you hear a skilled nursing facility, that's what you think of your traditional nursing home. And then the level of care that's below skilled is personal care, which is what Legacy is. And then below that is assisted living. So you have kind of a continuum of care when you're looking at long-term care or assisted care homes.
All right, what type of services does a personal care home offer?
Well, in personal care, we offer assistance with what we call activities of daily living, and that could be anything from getting the clothes down from the closet, laying them out for us, helping with buttons, or getting our arm in the sleeve if we have some limited range of motion, all the way to remembering to take our medications, tying our shoes, reaching that spot on our back that we can't quite get to. Things like that are considered activities of daily living. And so that's what we assist with in personal care. We're different from assisted living because we have a 24-hour nursing staff. All of our aides are certified, and we have RNs and LPNs on staff. And at the Legacy, they're on staff nights and weekends.
So you can give medications then?
That's right. We can dispense medications. We can call the doctor for our residents and say, we've noticed this change in our resident, and give a medical report because we have the nursing staff. And then if the physician determines that orders need to be given, we can then either call the pharmacy or carry out those orders within our nursing scope of practice.
Oh, okay, so would you call this the middle range of care?
Absolutely, because in assisted living, I tell folks if you just want a friendly face nearby for your safety, then you might want to look at assisted living. In personal care, you might want a nurse nearby that can check vitals, check your blood pressure, all kinds of things like that, do your blood sugar sticks. And then, of course, in skilled nursing care is where you need a lot more hands-on medical attention. If you have a feeding tube or an IV, or intense therapy, things like that would be skilled level.
Skilled is more bedridden type, isn't it?
That's right, because in personal care and assisted living, the actual requirements are that someone be ambulatory, which means that they're able to get around independently. They can use a wheelchair, but they have to be able to maneuver it independently and transfer in and out of it. So that means go from the chair to the bed, from the bed to the restroom, all independently.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that explains, makes it a little more clearer for me, because I get confused at the different types of care, the different levels of care, and what the different terminology means.
Right.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Absolutely. There's a lot out there. There's a lot to know, and you don't know what to ask until you're faced with this situation. And even then, you really don't know what to ask. You just kind of go through it as it pops up to you.
Right. What are some of the questions that a person should ask about a home that they're looking at or for the facilities?
Sure. If you're comparing assisted living to personal care, you want to ask questions about what are their policies about moving out? What kind of notice does the home expect? You'll want to ask if they have a backup generator. I know in our neck of the woods, the weather can be unpredictable, and so in personal care, we're required to have a backup generator, and in assisted living, that would be optional. So I would want to know if they have one in their facility. I would want to know how many of their direct care staff are going to be in the building at any given time. Is that different on nights and weekends? What ratio of care staff to residents is available? I would want to ask if they offer deep cleaning or only light housekeeping. Do I need to hire someone to come in and do the more deep cleaning? Do I need to hire someone to come in and offer more companionship or more one-on-one assistance, or is the staff going to be sufficient to offer that to me or my loved one, as the case may be?
Well, in personal care, is that available?
It depends on the facility. We can offer more medical assistance in personal care. They might be able to, in assisted living, do more one-on-one social activities because their residents might be slightly more independent. It depends on the facility. It depends on the culture of the residents in each particular facility.
I'm sure that safety is a major factor.
Absolutely. I would want to know what safety measures are in place. Do they do regular drills if they're making their rounds and a resident isn't where we think they should be? What procedures are in place to go about locating that resident? That can be important. Some facilities also have coded entry and exit, so that's something to ask if that's available, if that's a concern for you or your loved one.
This is a crazy question, but there are no crazy questions.
That's right.
Is there such a thing as like GPS tracking of residents?
There is. Some facilities have their own in-house systems. In Paducah, there is a relatively new system in place. I believe it's called Operation Lifesaver, but don't quote me. I would call the sheriff's office for the exact name of that. That's something that you can even do in your own home. And it's a system that any older adult or maybe an older child that has special needs that might be prone to walking away from the home or walking away from the caregiver, you can sign up through this program, and it emits a signal to the Sheriff's Department, who have been trained to locate this person, and based on their diagnosis, how to approach them once they're found.
It's like either an ankle bracelet or a wrist bracelet type operation.
Correct. And that's a newer program just within the last year that's come to Paducah. It was in some of the other counties prior.
Well, I know periodically we hear of someone getting lost or getting out, especially with Alzheimer's, and then they have to track them down.
Right.
I think that is good. The only problem I see with that is getting the person to wear it.
Right. And it was recommended to place the device on an ankle because hopefully out of sight, out of mind.
Right. I know that we've dealt with this before. What's old? I know somebody said somebody got involved in a fraud thing, and the police said, well, they do that to the older people, and they said, well, I'm not old. Well,
right.
Even though they were 80 years old,
Right.
And that has become more and more of a relative term, and I understand that.
Absolutely.
But we need to realize that there are certain things that are available, but you've got to be able to do it. Again, medication, making sure that you take it.
Right, right. And the regulations are ever changing. At one time in assisted living, they were a little bit limited in how they could assist their residents with medication, and those regulations are changing. So if you're thinking about looking at assisted living, that's a question that you would also want to ask. In personal care, we can administer medications and be a little more hands-on because of our nursing staff.
Well, that's good. Now, your facility is located close to Heartland?
That's correct. We're neighbors with Heartland Worship Center, and we're across the boulevard from the Orthopedic Institute. You just want to follow the flags.
Follow the flag. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to say it. Any other thing that you might want to, you have different type of therapists. I noticed you have speech therapists.
Right, right. In personal care, since there is more medical assistance, a lot of times, depending on the facility, you'll have a therapy team that can come in. In personal care, we can accommodate a special diet because we do have a dietitian that comes into the facility, and also the speech therapy at our fingertips that can come in. So there again, if you've got a loved one that is needing a special diet per doctor's orders, then you'll want to find out if that facility can accommodate.
Special social activities?
Right, right. We have daily activities, church groups, school groups. We love volunteers. I know all the assisted living on up through skilled nursing, they love their volunteers, and we thank them very much. They're very dear to us.
Well, I know that social activities become important to the seniors.
Definitely.
That's one of the things, and it's sad that seniors who are at home by themselves miss out on tremendous social activities. I mean, they miss these things. I know I was in the post office one day, and somebody was on the phone, the postmaster saying, well, they'll be there. It's a little early. They're probably running a little late. And the man says she calls 2 or 3 times a week just to have somebody to talk to.
Sure.
Just to have somebody to talk to.
That's right. Those social activities are so important. And a lot of times when new residents come in, they'll say, well, I'm not really a people person, and that's fine. We encourage the participation, but even if you just want to people watch and just sit on the couch and just be near people, that's
right.
better than sitting at home alone.
Well, I've always said that a good ministry for a church is just to have somebody that, have a group of people that do nothing but make phone calls every day, calling people in their church. When I pastored, I used to try to close my services with a song and then tell everybody you got to hug 10 people before you go, because that's probably the only hug some of them will get in a week.
That's right.
And people need hugs.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And writing letters, we're kind of getting away from that with technology, but just to get a volunteer group together to write letters, even if it says, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you, have a good week, or happy holidays, whatever's coming up, to get together and write letters.
We just had some cards printed, my wife and I, the poem Footprints in the Sand, and we had these cards with the footprints and the poem on it, and it says, we thought about you and prayed for you, and then we just go use them to send to people. That when we think about them, or they're sick or something like that, and handwrite them.
Yes, that is very much appreciated.
Well, Carrie, we're through with the first half here, and we appreciate you being here. Now, I want you to stay tuned, because we're going to get all hopped up here in a minute with exercises. So you stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment, and that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has proven has found their way out of this here. Dangerous, but it will be safe until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. Our special guest today is Carrie Singler, and she's with Legacy. And Legacy is located here next to the Worship Center. And it is a personal care facility, and we're excited to have her here. We've had her on our show before with some other things, but we've talked about different aspects of care and for seniors. And now we're going to do something that we've never done before. We're going to exercise, or she's going to exercise. I may exercise some. But Carrie's going to give us some examples of some exercises that you can do from your chair. She'll talk about physical therapy and the importance of it. I realized myself the real importance of it, having come out for a year and a half of sickness, of which I did not use my legs hardly at all, and practically lost the use of my legs because of not using them. And they say, because they say your muscles will just deteriorate. And I couldn't climb stairs without pulling myself up. I had to walk with a cane and all of these things. But now I feel like doing the exercises. My energy level is out the roof, really. And so I'm doing it. I'm getting my balance back. I'm still a little wobbly because of the legs being weak. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing exercises to try to strengthen them. So Carrie, I'm going to turn the show over to you.
All right. Well, I just want to preface it with saying that you should always consult your physician before you begin any kind of exercise program because due to certain diagnoses, there might be some limited movements that the doctor would prefer for you to stick to. But it's really important to stay active, to maintain what balance and strength that you have and possibly improve your balance and strength. Especially to prevent injury and to prevent falls. I know that becomes a concern as we get older. So as we improve our balance and improve our muscle strength, then we're going to reduce those incidents of falls. So one of the things that you hear a lot about is core strength, and that refers to your abdominals, but it also includes your low back and your quadriceps, which is the front of your thigh, and your hamstrings, which is the back of your thigh. And so all that factors into your core strength, which is your balance, which is what holds you up. So we're going to do some exercises just from our chair, which means you can do them anywhere you have a chair. We're going to sit up nice and tall, chest is lifted, shoulders down and back. I would start with a few deep breaths. We're just building warmth, warming up our muscles. So after a few deep breaths, we might do a few stretches with our arms, reaching up and down. And then shoulders rolling back, shoulders up and down. We might arch the back, lifting the chest. And then we could round through the spine, pulling the abdominals in. So after we've warmed up the upper body, then we would start with just some marching in place. You can hear my heels.
Yep.
So we can march in place until we get tired, or maybe turn on some fun music and we can march to the beat. And then we can take our heels forward and back. And then we can tap our toes out and in. And remember those old dance moves we used to do? We can do some fancy footwork with just our feet from our chair. We can step together, step together.
Interesting enough that when you talked about your upper thighs, when my legs went out on me, I have a Roman bathtub, and I love my tub. And I got in it and couldn't get out because I could not lift. I didn't have the strength to lift myself out of the tub. Finally, with my wife pulling and me pushing, and my wife don't weigh that much, we got out. The next time I decided to try it, I called to make sure my neighbor across the street was at home so he could come and get me out of the tub if I couldn't get out. But now I've got strength. I just pop in and out of it now.
That's
but
wonderful.
It's amazing that I can do that again.
It is. And if you've got, if you're under the care of physical therapy, they might have some tools to use, actually some stretchy bands to provide resistance, or even their hands might provide resistance. They'll put it behind your leg and you'll pull back towards you to help strengthen.
I use the weight ankle.
Ankle weights, things like that will add resistance. Yeah. You know, and if you get tired of marching, do that for a couple of minutes, then you could take the legs straight up and down.
With 3-pound weights on mine.
Sure. Kick out and in. And for some folks, even just the body weight resistance might be enough. I tell folks, when you're just sitting at home watching TV, when the commercial comes on, do your exercises while the commercial's on, and then take your break when the show comes back on. Make sure you switch legs. If you're watching your balance, make sure you're doing the same amount of exercises on one side as the other. Again, talk to your doctor or your physical therapist if you have any limitations on one side or the other. And then when we talk about range of motion, we can actually circle the leg, circle the ankle, just like we circled the arms. Okay. Then you can take your hands to your shoulders and twist and forward. And there again, these are slow and controlled. Okay? So then just have fun with it. It's like chair dancing almost.
Yeah. Well, I have found that that was the thing that I did. I asked my physical therapist to give me exercises that I could do at home. Practically every one of you did, they gave me, plus some others.
Sure.
As far as marching in place, they said, which you can't hear because we're in the studio, get up and hold on to the chair if you needed to and march in place.
Absolutely.
And that was the most tiresome one when I started, was doing that because of the atrophy, they call it, of your muscles. And but they gave me, I had about 6 or 8 different exercises that I was doing to strengthen them. And now my legs are getting much stronger. But from playing sports all my life, I knew what it was going to be like to get back started.
Right.
Spring practice was always a killer for
right.
football. And then we go right out of spring practice football into baseball. But I'd always been in decent shape, not the best shape, but decent shape. I mean, I could walk, I could run, I could climb stairs and take them without hesitant until I went through this, Even when I had my knee replaced, I went through 2 months of physical therapy so that I went through 1 month and they said, you don't need any more. I said, but I want more so that I know I won't have any problem.
Right.
11 years ago, I've not had a problem with my knee.
Wonderful.
And because exercise. And what is it they say? Don't have the surgery if you're not going to do the therapy. And the hardest one was my shoulder replaced. But that's good. And I think, and by the way, Carrie has said that we're going to try to work it out where she'll come back and do almost the whole show and exercise without the table where you have the room to do it.
With fun music.
And that way we can be able to do it. Because I think as seniors, we need to stay active. And if we're not active, we're going to lose it. And so I think it's real important that we need to stay active and do the different exercises. I think mentally we need to stay active.
Absolutely.
Now my wife works crossword puzzles. I don't do crossword puzzles. I do word search puzzles.
I like those too.
But she likes doing the crossword puzzles. But we need to. I do a lot of reading, and she does. We need to keep our mind active. And I do other types puzzles to keep my mind. And there are some good things on the internet now that I've discovered some sites on the internet that are mental teasers or mental activities that you can go on, and some of them are free, some of them cost you, but there are enough free ones that can keep you busy.
Right.
And a lot of word association or symbol associations, even sound associations, and different things like that that I think is important that we stay busy so that we can do things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Carrie, we appreciate you being with us today again, and I hope our people have learned from this, and that we want to do more of this and stay more active.
Sure.
I think the more active we are, as long as we can, the more we can be active, and I appreciate that. But we want you to know that the Fabulous 50s and Beyond is here for you, and that we're here every week. We'll try to be here every week with a new show, talking about the services that are available for you, the programs that are available for you, the facilities that are available for you, because we want you to know what's going on around our neighborhood, and we want you to know what is available for you that you can take advantage of. We try to bring out as many of the free services as we can so that you know that they're there and you can take advantage of them. But again, it's been good to have you with us. Take care. Good to have you again today. And we want to encourage you to watch our show every week. Remember, you can find us on the web at thefabulous50s.net. You can get in touch with us there and everything. So we encourage you to be with us and again next week. And remember now, use it or lose it.
Can't see as well as I used to. Can't run as far or as fast. Sometimes I think that the old me is becoming exactly that. But when I start thinking of all I don't have, that's when I tell poor me Beethoven was 50 and deaf as a post when he wrote